With Sherry is a bariatric podcast talking about weight loss surgery. I am not a licensed professional. Any views and or opinions expressed in the show are those of the speakers and do not reflect the bariatric community as a whole. Always reach out to a professional with any medical issues you are experiencing. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Unzipped with Sherry. With yours truly, I'm obviously Sherry. I've been very blessed for the last few months, having on amazing guests each week, everyone having bariatric surgery, talking about their journey, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. But one thing that we've never really talked about on the show is when you're going through this surgery, there's so many changes that are happening internally, everything from like the 1 ounce cups and the mental game and your physical changes and in your person, everything is changing. But what we don't realize is that we don't really think about how it affects our partner during it. The partner who's, whether it's your spouse, your boyfriend, your loved one, or whatever, they're kind of going through this journey along with you, and they don't understand everything that you're going through. And I don't think we always realize like how much it might affect the other person when you're on this journey. So when I started this podcast, my husband Erick has made numerous comments that, hey, you should have me on the show because I think I can bring a lot of insight from somebody who is like the partner of somebody who had bariatric surgery. And I thought that was a brilliant idea because I don't think we're really doing enough to really talk about it, and we're not talking to the partners. So we thought it would be fun to have a day today and talk to Erick and see what it's like for somebody going through bariatric surgery and how it affects your partner. So Erick, I hope you're ready because we are about to get unzipped.
We all have a story on how we got here, right? So for me, I used to be over 350 pounds until one day I made the single decision that I wanted change. Weight loss surgery has saved my life, and now I am here for you. I want to hear your story. You know, the one that happened during that before and after picture. It's time to unzip. What's your story?
Well, hello, darling. How are you?
Enjoying my time upstairs while you're downstairs.
I like how you purposely like pick like this niche spot where you can like display your toys for the world to see.
The world needs to know.
The world needs to know a little bit
That's
about
right.
Erick. Well, first and foremost, I know how much you love having attention on you. So the fact that you even agreed to come on this show, obviously it means a lot to me and I really appreciate it. And two, because you've made numerous comments over the last couple of months, I feel like you have like some kind of a bunch of stuff that you need to get off your chest about this journey. So you're going to get the floor. You're going to get the floor today.
Let's see. What do you got? Let's do this. I want to inform the people. I'm you.
Are you mocking my intro?
Am,
That's how we're
100%,
starting
yeah.
the show.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, so let's start off from the very beginning, as far as like, the weight loss journey. So do you remember when I had first approached you and said that I was thinking about having the surgery?
Yes, I do. And I wasn't. It's funny. I wasn't shocked. I want to say part of me knew it was coming, because you had already tried everything else before that, from the diet, sticking to diets. Personal trainers, that was a fiasco. I mean, diets and trainers, honestly, routines and the whole milking vegetables thing, or not milking vegetables, juicing vegetables.
Milking vegetables.
I know veggies don't have titties in it. But
do you remember when we did that 10-day juice fast?
Oh God, it was horrible. People, don't do it.
And I don't know if you remember, like, it's kind of off topic, but I thought that I had bought us kale, and apparently I bought was it mustard greens?
Yes.
And I made this shake, and it was like the spiciest thing like I'd ever had. And then after the 10 days, you had lost weight. You had lost like 10 or 12 pounds, I think.
Yes.
And I lost, I think, 1 pound, and then that was it.
Am I frozen?
No, you're good.
Because I'm looking at is my frozen face on here. But all right, good. Anyway,
let it go.
Let's keep rolling.
No, you're good. You got full bars. And at least we know we have a backup plan just in case. So what went through your thought process at the idea of me putting myself through surgery and going that avenue?
My thought process, I just remember telling you to ask questions, to make sure that this is what you wanted. Because at the end of the day, you're the one that was going to be going under the knife. Just, are you sure this is what you want to do? I remember asking, if you had done everything that you could do before you took this step. It's a drastic step.
Yeah.
But again, I knew it was coming.
What was your thought process about, like, cuz back then, I mean, it's not as common as it is now, but like back then people were starting to have the surgery more often. For me personally, did you feel like it was cheating, or like what was your thoughts about people who had weight loss surgery back then?
Once upon a time, yes, I 100% thought it was cheating. I thought, well, just stop eating fat ass, go on a diet,
Mm,
work out, quit being lazy. Mind you, this is a guy that was 380 pounds saying
mhm.
this. You know what I'm saying? So, but at one point in time, I 100% thought it was cheating. Yes. And the more I saw you go through what you were going through, it just it changed my mind. And because again, I saw you stick to plans. I saw you going through diets. I saw you put yourself to the ringer.
Mm.
Hell and back, and nothing was working, and there were no answers. And if there were answers, they were very vague at best.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, wait a minute, there's clearly more to this than just dieting and exercising. If it's not working, then what's going on? It's just something more medical, I guess. And I came to find out and learn that sometimes surgery is the only thing that could help.
Mm.
For whatever reason, surgery is the only thing that could help. So yeah, at one point, yes, I did think it was cheating, and it just gradually changed my mind about it.
Interesting. And so take us through the morning of surgery before, like, they wheeled me out and everything. Cause I, like, it sucks. Like, because you're going through this process, you're about to have this surgery, you're kind of selfish in your thoughts. Cause you're thinking about, like, what happens if I don't make it? What happens if I don't come out on the other side? What happens if there's a complication? But you don't really take the time, in fairness, like, you don't really take the time to think about how this decision might be affecting your partner. Like, if any of these things came to fruition, and let's say I didn't wake up on the table, or if something happened, I mean, that doesn't just affect me, it affects, your loved ones.
Right.
So what were some of the things that went through your mind the morning of surgery?
I can't believe she's making me wake up this early in the morning.
That's your main
And then I
concern.
have to drive. No, it's funny. It's I had no thought. It's just one of those things where, okay, she's gonna have surgery. Nothing really hit me until you were being wheeled out.
Right
So
before.
during,
No,
right
I mean,
before, it's just okay. She's in a hospital bed. She's got a gown on. Ha ha ha. We're making light of the situation. So it's one of
mhm.
those things where, okay, she's gonna have surgery. No big deal. It's not like it's heart surgery or anything like that. But so there was really no thought process behind it. I guess feelings or anything like that didn't hit until the moment that they came in and they started wheeling you out. And then it's like fear, the unknown. Now you're scared. Wait a minute, it's still surgery, and of course I'm trying to do my best to hide my tears because we've never been through this. So
Yeah.
I was scared. I was internalizing my fears there, and I remember I whimpered a little bit, and and your mom did too. I'm like, and just hope everything came out fine in the end. I had to keep telling myself, hey, it's a small surgery. It's nothing big. It's going to be okay. It's a hospital. Doctors know what they're doing, yada, 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 yada.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was that process.
And then if I remember correctly, they had told us that it was going to be like 2 to 3 hours.
That was bullshit. So listen. All right. So we go in and we ask how long it's going to be. It's going to be 2-3 hours, whatever. Oh, and then they said there's a monitor in the waiting room. Look for her name, and and it'll give you the status. Now, they have color codes. I'm sure anybody that works
In the hospital.
hospital business, the medical field, I guess, hospital business. They have color codes for everything. So we're waiting for your name, and luckily, no, horrible codes are on there for you. But 2 hours becomes 3 hours became 4, and at one point we're like, "What the f is going on?" She should have been out. Doctor was supposed to have come out, told us that you're fine, you're in the room, blah 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 blah. Nothing's happening. So your mom and I are losing our shit, man. We're just scared at this point. Like, what the hell is going on? Why isn't anybody talking to us? And we were starving too, and we stood there the whole time, like, nope, we're not leaving, not until we hear something. And it wasn't until we finally went and spoke to somebody else. One of the nurses said, "Oh yeah, she's right here." They had you in a gurney in the nurses station, like right where they're answering the phones because they didn't have a bed for you. So that kind of, it pissed me off a little bit. I was a little bit relieved to know that you were okay, and you had this booger thing in your nose, for oxygen, I guess.
It's not a booger thing. It's the oxygen
it's like a bubble,
thing.
man. It looks like a booger, and like a big old like booger bubble, and you had this pan on your chest, and just because I guess you were spitting up or something like that. And at that point, I'm like, okay, well, she doesn't have room, but she's alive. And how long has she been here? Oh, for about 2 hours. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Tell somebody, man. So guys, girls, if your partner's gonna go through this, make sure you ask questions. If it goes past the surgery time, ask, hey, are they okay? Are they done? Are they stitching back up? What's going on? Just ask for updates.
Yeah.
Don't look at that freaking monitor. Bug whoever you got to bug.
And then, so because like I said, because we're in the midst of it. We're in and out of sleep. We're in and out of consciousness. I was very
nauseous.
Were whacked out. Yeah. I was whacked out. I was very nauseous. Like the morphine would make me physically sick. So I know that one of the questions that people ask a lot before they have surgery is, what do I bring to the hospital with me? Because you think like, yeah, bring a toothbrush, change of underwear or whatever. But there was something that we wish that we had brought that I think would be very...
pillow.
Yeah.
A pillow. Now, here's 2 reasons to bring a pillow. Number 1 is for the person having the surgery. So you have to understand, they have 5 incisions in their stomach, right? They're still healing. Very sore, and you have to pull out of the hospital, because you're not going to make it home in a wheelchair the whole time, nice and gentle. It's a bumpy ride. There's speed bumps. There's cracks on the road. What's going to happen is you're going to jump, and it's going to move your incisions, and it's going to hurt. So people bring a pillow so they can, your partner can brace onto the pillow, put that pressure on the pillow, and it doesn't hurt as much. It's much more comfortable, and that's something that we didn't think about, unfortunately. But another reason to bring the pillow is if you're like me now, I didn't leave your side. I didn't shower for like 2 days, and I didn't even take a prison shower. And I had no pillow, I had no blanket, just what the nurses gave me, bless them. But you're gonna want that pillow if you're gonna spend the night. Otherwise, it's gonna be one of the most brutal sleeps of your life. Not that it's about you or anything, or about the person not having surgery, but that's 2 reasons to bring a pillow for yourself, but number 1 for the person that's having the surgery so they can brace
for the ride home.
I
remember you were driving like 15-20 miles an hour or something like that.
Pissed at me. Oh yeah, it was like that movie Knocked Up at the end when Seth Rogen is driving on PCH.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, I don't care. Nope, I got it. That was me. I was driving hella slow. And just because, it was a bumpy ride, man. You don't realize how bumpy it is out there until you have somebody that's fragile sitting in the car with you and you have to drive at a certain speed limit. Like, you don't really realize. And so that pillow would definitely have would have helped.
Would have helped immensely. You probably could have driven like the normal speed limit that day.
So, yeah, people pack a pillow and pack snacks. So, the person that had the surgery probably isn't going to be eating anytime soon.
True.
Okay. But you still have to eat. Now, don't be an ass and eat in the same room that the person who just had the surgery is in. Go out in the hallway or something and have a snack, trail mix or whatever. Just bring a snack for yourself. If you want to make sandwiches for yourself, do that too. But even, be kind and eat it outside. Don't be an ass about it. So, yeah, food, water, and a pillow. You'll be all right.
Excellent.
No toothbrush, no toothpaste. Bring scope. You won't have time to brush your teeth, or maybe it might be too much crap to pack. And for entertainment, bring a laptop or something, and bring your charger.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. Like, I didn't have a laptop in the hospital.
You had your phone.
I had my phone, but we didn't have TikTok or like I wasn't watching YouTube at the time. I remember posting
Facebook. Yep.
A Facebook and I think some Instagram pictures here and there, and that's all we had. So let me ask you, in the very beginning, my diet changed dramatically overnight.
Yes. Yeah.
So now I'm sipping on these little 1 ounce cups, these little like a couple bites of Jello or whatever. However, you still have to eat.
I still have to beat my 380-pound frame. That's right.
Yeah. So what was it like in the beginning? Because that dynamic changed. Because you and I basically ate fast food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for many years at one
Yeah.
point. Not by the time I had the
Not proud of it,
surgery,
people.
but
But yeah,
that's. But I mean, it was also our circumstances at the time. We had no
100%.
option but to eat fast food, which is one of the reasons why we both had gained weight. Um, you'd had some success over the years, like you'd lose a little, gain a little.
Hmm.
Mine was always just so stagnant, like nothing would ever happen. But so bringing up to speed, all of a sudden the entire dynamic changed. It's not like we're having like these meals like we used to have. And
Yes.
especially in the beginning, I couldn't eat anything. I had my isopure that I was drinking. However, you still have to eat normally.
Yes.
Um, one thing that I thought was sweet is that you would purposely close the bedroom door and leave me
Hmm.
in there, and then you would go into the kitchen.
Don't say leave me. It sounds like I abandoned you
I'm
in the
not saying
room.
that.
Actually,
No, I'm not
questioning
saying that you
food.
abandoned me. I'm just saying, but like,
Yes, but I did. I did. Yes. Yes. I
so
would eat in the kitchen. I would scarf
yeah.
my food out and I would eat it over the sink. I don't know why I ate it over the sink. Maybe so I wouldn't make a mess, but I ate my food over the sink. Yeah.
Was it because like you were just trying to rush it so that you can like?
Yes. Yes. Yes and no. So the sink was a perfect vantage point from the, like, if I left the door room open, and you were taking a nap or you were in the room, just me being who I am, a freaking warrior word. So I got to see what if you're okay, so I could peek in there from the
Yeah.
sink while I'm eating, making sure that you're okay. And, just turn the water, wash it down, boom, plate is clean. you know. So it just made sense to eat in the sink, just scarf the food down and get back to you really.
Which I don't think, and I had told you that even back then. I said, you don't have to be doing this because I put myself through this. I appreciated that, that you were doing it, but I felt bad. I was like, why are you like torturing yourself? Because like, we shouldn't have to be like miserable together.
No, no, no. So I don't see it as torture. That's the thing. I was I was prepared to do what I had to do to take care of you. I knew I was going to be your caregiver. So I was prepared for it. It's like I told you a while back too. Is my mom broke her legs stupidly, both her legs. And she had sent me to live in Colorado with my uncle. Next thing you know, a month later, oh, guess what? Broke my legs. And so as soon as I get off the Greyhound bus, it's straight to business. She's in a wheelchair. Got to take her to the hospital, and you know, she was a primary caregiver or whatever to the kids. I have four other siblings, so
Hmm.
I had to take on the responsibility of driving them to school, making their lunches, picking them up, making their dinners, on top of caring for her bathroom duties, cleaning her freaking, that the
It's like a
portable toilet thing that
bedpan
they
or
have,
whatever. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I had to do all these things, and I didn't grimace at it. I did something that I had to do. So and that's kind of how I grew up. I had to take care of others and this and that. So when it came to you, it's like, yeah, no big deal.
Yeah.
We do what we have to do, and that's it. And I grew up in a family where men and women alike did the same thing. They call it making a sacrifice. I didn't see it as a sacrifice. I'd see it as a duty. I have a duty to you
Yeah.
and got to make sure that you're okay. And I did my duty. I did what I had to do, and I hope I wasn't a dick about it.
No, I can say you definitely were. Like you were very self-accommodating. Because I remember the very first night when we were home, I tried to sleep in bed, was not happening.
No,
It,
no,
it
that
was
wasn't happening.
almost like somebody had like it was like all of my abs were, well, whatever abs I thought I had, were completely broken. Like I physically could not use those muscles to even lay down.
Right.
And you were really smart. We had a recliner in the living room,
Old green, yeah,
and
or blue.
it was sweet. You didn't want me to sleep in the living room, so you brought the recliner into the bedroom so at least we can, watch TV together and like fall asleep together. And I know like some other people have no problem sleeping, but for me, I think I was in that recliner. I don't remember, like 3 weeks or something like
You were
that.
in that recliner for quite a while.
Yeah.
I do remember that. Yeah, that first night was miserable. You couldn't sleep. I remember
Yeah.
you just could not sleep. And it's funny. All of this happened within, because I took off like 2 or 3 days off from work, and lucky I've been able to have jobs where I'm able to take certain days off, without any repercussions. And yeah, so we got like the worst out of the way within the first
Mm.
few days, which was amazing. And yeah. So I remember, yeah, I'm like, you know what, got an idea, and I don't have brilliant ideas very often. Um, but this one was amazing. I'm like, we have a recliner. Let me
Mm.
drag that son of a bitch in
Yeah.
here. And sure enough, yeah, it was perfect. And we had one of those little portable tables also. So I had your liquid proteins on the table and all that. And,
Mhm.
uh, Yeah, I'm awesome, dude. Holy shit. Yeah.
Very modest you are too. At any point in the beginning of the journey, did you ever feel like, I don't know, like resentful or like irritated that everything changed so drastically as far as like food and
No,
activities? And
I enjoyed. I'm see. That's the thing about me, man. I enjoyed it. I didn't. Um, I went along for the ride, man. You know, it's like you're going through this, but I'm going through it with you, and I'm just
yeah,
along for the ride, man. So it was freaking awesome because I needed to lose weight myself. Again, 380 pounds, 385. I was losing my breath just climbing up the stairs. You know, it's just, it was bad, and I knew how to make a change. I just hadn't, you know. And when you were going through your things, I had to make some dietary changes too, because I mean, you know, I could go out and get a burger if I wanted to, you know, but I decided not to, and more so because I wanted to be by you as much as possible, so I can
mm,
make sure that you were okay. And yeah, it's the you know after you were done with your liquid phase, man, you were cooking all these dishes that,
yeah.
oh my god, but even one lasted the test of time. Was it the spaghetti squash? Mother of God.
Was that with the sausage and kale?
Yep.
Yep, I'm making
Yep.
that next week.
Oh yeah. And you made these amazing dishes, man. And I just remember, I'm like, oh, freaking, this is great. I can eat this healthy and still be freaking.
Mm.
The food just still tastes amazing, you know. So I wasn't resentful at all for your dietary change. I was extremely grateful for that. And I think that um, wow, I was just grateful for it. To be honest with
Mm.
you, yeah.
Okay, so this is what's funny, and this, I don't think this is very common at all. I think this was a very unique situation. But, for people who have the surgery, I hear a lot that your taste buds change, your cravings change. Some people, I'm very lucky in that I don't necessarily crave anything.
Yeah.
Now I know you're going to disagree and you're going to say that I crave cheese, but I do not crave cheese. I
This
just eat
woman would eat a block of cheese for dessert if you let her. I
I
swear to
just
God.
I freaking I can live off of
Regardless.
cheese. I love it. Um, but what was interesting is I had such a sweet tooth. I loved my
Yeah.
both sides of my family, both grandmothers had huge sweet tooth. So I grew up on candies. My favorite were little butterscotch little suckers that you judge me for all the time. Um but I love sugar. And one thing that we did not have in common is you hated sweets with a passion. We
Loathe sweets. You're
we
right.
would be like at a holiday or something like that. And when it was time for the desserts to come on the table, Eric was notorious for getting up and walking away because the smell was so it was like the
Yeah.
smell of sweetness was so
Yeah.
overpowering for you. It made you aggravated. So what happened after I
Okay.
had surgery?
Let me tell you guys. So she's right. You know, and I wasn't being dramatic, or I wasn't trying to be that guy. I'm never that person, you know. And you know, when we have dinner at her mom's house, you know, dessert comes out and beautiful rolls or sweet whatevers, and
Yeah, so good.
I'm just like baked goods, you know. I'm just, oh, dude, get that away from me. Like it hurt my nose. It hurt my nose to just smell it. If I ate anything sweet, it would hurt my teeth. And I went to the dentist, and dentist said, "You don't have any cavities, dude. You're fine. You're absolutely fine." And I'm just like, well, why do my teeth hurt when I eat sweets, you know? And so that was me. I didn't eat sweets. I was still big, but I didn't eat sweets.
Mhm.
So that was weird, Eric. And then I don't know what the hell happened. I went grocery shopping while Sherry was in the recliner, and I'm staring at this Snickers bar. I don't know why. I'm like, I'm gonna get it. I knew full well that if I ate the damn bar, my teeth were gonna hurt. And I bought it and put the groceries away. And before I went in the room, I scarfed it down, and I'm like, that is pretty damn delicious. And I just started getting cravings for chocolate and sweets and chocolate, and just
Mhm.
out of nowhere, my teeth don't hurt. So I don't know if it's freaking sympathy cravings or what the hell that I got for you, but it was bad, dude. And now it's just like I have chocolate, like Girl Scout cookies hidden all over the place. You know, freaking
Do you have them right now?
yeah. So it's a problem now. I don't know what happened. I honestly don't know what happened. It just like that.
Mm.
Just like that. You know, stuff that I hated, all of a sudden I won. Maybe because you couldn't have it. I was trying to make up for you or something. I
I
don't
get
know.
you're trying to like
But
live vicariously, live for the
again,
both
yet
of
another
us.
sacrifice I made for you.
I appreciate the sacrifices for the Snicker bars that I could not
You-
consume at that
You're
time.
very welcome.
You're such a
I
nerd.
deserve a statue.
Um, did you ever, like in the very beginning, or actually as the weight was coming off, did you ever have any concerns that my personality was going to change, or that things were going to be different, or like what was like, because we were both close to 400 pounds at one point.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, you're still at the same weight, but mine is like dropping very drastically. Was there ever concerns that you had that this was going to change things moving forward, or that things were just going to be different?
No. No. I remember I wanted you, as soon as you started dropping, well, I wanted you to go out with your friends. And I know I encouraged it. Remember
You
what I
did,
told
which
you?
was so
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah. I'm like, here you are, you're losing this weight, man. And I remember you bought this little number, and you look freaking bomb in it. I'm like, you got to go out. Now, you know me, I hate going out anyway.
Yeah, you don't like
But your
going out.
friends were encouraging you to go out and all that. I'm like, go and have somebody buy you a drink, dude. And no, man, I encouraged all your activities. To be honest with you, I wanted you to go to live what the life that you could. I wanted you to go out to go out with friends and have fun and dance, sing karaoke, and be confident.
Which
No,
anytime I've ever told people, so one of my girlfriends was going through a breakup at the time, and she wanted to just go out and let loose and have fun and karaoke. And I would tell Eric, like, hey, my girlfriend wants to go, and he's like,
go.
go get dressed up, have an amazing time. And
Make
he's
sure
like,
somebody buys you a drink.
and he
You
said
know,
makes, and so when I tell people that, they're like, why would he suggest other people buying you a drink?
because it's gonna.
Like, so did you ever have any concerns that, like,
Not at all, man. Not at all. So I know who you are, and um, I know you wanted to go out. I know you were a little nervous and whatnot, but no, I gotta hype you up. I dress up, throw that. I even told you what to wear sometimes.
yeah,
Not
you have
mind you,
better,
people. She didn't go out dressed wearing nothing. Come on now.
no,
But she, I did encourage you to go. Go get a drink, have fun, sing karaoke, dance around with your friend, because that's what you were going to do. You were going to go out with your friend and have a drink. You weren't telling me, hey, I'm going to go out on with my friend who's going to be on a date with this guy, and she needs another person, and he's going to bring a friend. It wasn't anything like that.
right?
And I
No,
know the
no, it
friends
was,
you went out with too. So, I had full trust in you. And you had fun. I remember you come home like at 1 or 2 in the morning,
so much
and
fun.
and that was like just about like every other weekend. And I'd ask you, how was your night? How did it go? And you just had so much fun. And I'm like, I hadn't seen that glow in you since we were dating, since the inception of our
Right.
relationship, I guess. But you had this you had an amazing time. I remember that. And you're like, are you sure you're okay with this? Fuck yeah, dude, go. And I have my Xbox, which is great.
And your collectibles behind
And
you.
exactly.
So I know that it's very common, like, after surgery, that oftentimes the partner gets very jealous
Mm.
at whether it's the attention that their partner is now getting or the sudden weight loss. What are your thoughts on, what drives people to that mental state from the partner's perspective?
Insecurities, and the insecurities become jealousies. Now, if you remember, there was a time. This is maybe a year before you got the surgery, where I started working out. Dude, I
Mhm.
lost 20 pounds like that. Then I lost 10 more pounds like that. So I was looking pretty damn okay. And I know you were insecure at the time, and I know, that turned into jealousy because out of nowhere, it's like, okay, wait, who are you working out for? Why are you working out so much? And keep in mind, I was working out in our apartment gym.
Yeah.
So so that's why when you ask me that, I always say insecurities, which becomes jealousy. And what happens too is I feel that you get the surgery, you drop all this weight. What happens is there's more attention towards you.
Hmm.
Comments become a little flirtatious. You make no friends. You go to the gym. All of a sudden, people start dressing a certain way in the gym, and you start dressing that way too. And again, guy or girl, you're getting attention, and you're liking this attention. You don't know how to. You're not used to it, so you're being friendly. But friendship becomes curiosity, and curiosity can lead to something else. And that would make you. That at least that's what your spouse is thinking, or your partner,
Right.
whatever is thinking. Like, okay, wait a minute, what's going on? Why all this attention all of a sudden? And that could lead to a possible breakup or a break in the relationship. It's just jealousy and insecurity, and you have to find a way to assure your partner that, hey, I'm not doing anything with this attention that I'm getting. I did this to get healthy. You just gotta
Right.
reassure, I guess.
Like, do you have any, like, well, you might not know the answer, but do you have any like ideas on like how somebody who's on the side of like having all these positive changes and losing weight, is there something that we could say to our partner to help reassure them that
Come with me.
where are we going?
Wherever I'm getting attention. Come with me.
Oh,
So
I
they know
see.
that
Like,
I'm with or jump in on one of my activities. Let's spend some time together. You know, take interest in something that I'm doing, and I'll take. And you gotta give back, obviously. But
right.
that's one thing I guess you can do. And as somebody who's getting jealous, or somebody who's uh, questioning your partner's motives or whatever, my dude, my girl, if your partner says come with me, freaking go. Don't sit there
Yeah.
and be a little douche and be like, no, I don't want to go, throw a temper tantrum or something. Get up and go. They're giving you an opportunity. You got to take it, man.
Which I think that's really good advice, because one of the issues that you and I had many years ago is we were both on journeys. It was always at a different time. I would be on a health kick and I would like do the paleo thing or whatever the new thing was, and you were not into it. And I would try to coax you to come, and then you weren't
Yes.
having it. Then the tables would turn and I fall back into old patterns. And now all of a sudden you're working out and eating healthier and I'm not. And I felt like we were kept being like these two ships in the night that weren't on the same page. And I think it gets to a point too that so oftentimes one of the partners will get resentful, like the person who's not working out and being healthy, because like you said, with insecurity and stuff, you get so inside your head that you're like, oh, he or she must be cheating, or oh, he or she is like doing this for somebody else, not taking into the account. No, they're probably doing it for themselves because they're tired of whatever their situation
Yeah.
is. But then like because of that resentment, then you're like moody and you're like, no, I don't want to go. And then you're creating a bigger divide because
Yeah.
now you're not even trying to even partake. But it should be telling that when the partner's saying, come with me on that walk, come with me to the gym, come with me to this thing or whatever, they're not saying like, hey, stay here, I'm going to go out and have fun. They're
Right.
trying to encourage you to go with them
Yes.
because they want to spend that time with you.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And hell, it might motivate you to lose weight too, to get on this
Mhm.
on the track, or not necessarily get surgery, but maybe start dressing us a certain way, a different way, seeing the world in um, through a different filter. I guess I don't know, but definitely get involved.
Yeah.
And make that relationship stronger. I guess. You know.
Yeah. And do you think that my personality changed at all, or do you think that
No, no, you remain Sherry. That was the beautiful part about you. You did what you needed to do for you, but you didn't turn into this cocky person. You didn't turn into this
yeah.
diva, and you were getting hella attention, dude. You still do. Um, and you just stayed focused on your goal. You were still Sherry. You're still the same dork.
Yeah.
You didn't change one bit. You're still you. That was the best part about it.
Do
You
you
know.
remember when I had that pre-op psych appointment and like he was asking like what questions did I have or whatever it was, and the first thing that blurted out is, what if I become a bitch? And, and
Something
he
like that.
and he
Yeah.
kind of like was taken aback. He's like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "What happens if like you lose all this weight and you become a bitch, or you become like the snobby person, or like you become like the people that you loathed in high school or whatever?" And he looked at me and he goes, "Are you a bitch now?" And I was like, "No." He goes, "So what are you worried about?" And I'm like, I just assumed that like it was common that people would change after. But I also feel that, depending on who your circle is, they would help, prevent
Yeah,
that
if you're
from
already a
happening
bitch,
too.
you're gonna be a bigger bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because now you have more confidence.
Yeah.
If you're already a bitch, you're a bitch. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole. But you remained true to who you are. Nothing got to your head. Um, you made little jokes, but they were little just jokes. It wasn't anything like, oh look, no, nothing like that. You took the attention very, very well.
Mm.
You're smart enough to know, okay, wow, and you analyze everything. Wait, why
I
are they giving me this
overanalyze.
attention? Why, yeah. And you were just very smart about it, and you were probably the best case scenario, man. I mean, I've watched
Aw.
shows like My 600-Pound Life and all that fucking disgusting shows, dude. Honestly, not the people, it's just how they
The
behave.
production of it.
Oh God, yeah. Don't
Yeah.
watch those shows, guys.
I've
Disgusting.
actually never watched the show
Good,
before.
don't. And it just angers me, because they want to go through the same crap that everybody else out here does in the real world. They want the surgery, they want this, but they're not willing to put in the work, and they make it.
Yeah.
Cheaper. Anyway, I'm sorry,
It's
getting off track.
no,
So
you're fine.
you were the best case scenario.
Oh, thank you.
Hmm.
But it's interesting because Janie brought up a good point. She says, I'm scared of getting attention because my weight has been a protective mechanism. And I can 100% relate to this because one thing that I've always joked about is when you're like when I was a kid growing up, I desperately wanted attention. I wanted people to notice me. And then in your 20s, when everyone is, you're living life and you're being social and doing, I didn't get any attention and I secretly craved it. And I was like, I wanted people to look at me.
Right.
I wanted people to think I was pretty or sexy or beautiful. And I never got that. Then all of a sudden you start getting this attention and like, okay, Erick said, I'm a dork. Like, I don't know how to respond to it. Like,
Yeah.
I just like clam up and it's like, I'm getting something that I've always secretly wanted. And now that I have it, like, I don't know how to deal with it.
You danced.
I mean,
I don't know what to say to that. Other than that, you danced.
I did, yeah. I love dancing. What would be some advice that you would give? I'm trying to think, like, overall, like, as somebody who is on the other side of the surgery, based on what you observed from my journey and like going through it, is there anything that you learned in hindsight that if somebody else was watching this or thinking about having surgery and their partner's nervous, is there any like tips that you can give them or advice that you can provide?
For who? I'm sorry. Which party?
For anybody. So let's say based on, okay, let me rephrase the question. Was there anything surprising about the journey that I had from your point of view?
No, I just wish we would have asked more questions. The problem is I didn't know what questions to ask because I had never been through this. I've never researched it. I've never known anybody that had. I know one person that had the lap band in Mexico. But that's it. I never asked questions about that. And I just wish I would have asked more questions in that case, especially as the caregiver.
Okay.
Okay, what am I in for? What should I expect? And I mean, it was trial by fire sometimes, most of the time, like, having their visit from Aunt Flo.
It makes you so uncomfortable.
So that was that was interesting. that was interesting. And I just,
well, do you want to tell that story then?
Okay.
You brought it up.
So here we go. Keep in mind, folks, blood, brains, and guts don't make me squeamish, don't scare me. Poop does. So luckily we didn't have anything like that. But while Sherry had, after she had her surgery, I think the day after.
No, same day.
Oh, was it the same day?
It was a couple hours after.
Oh, obviously my memory. So point is, she felt a little trickle down there. Turns out she was having a period. And nurse came in, did his thing, and, helped her out. But I knew it was
I don't think you remember this 100% correctly.
Oh, shit, he didn't help you out?
No. The nurse was in the room when it happened. He was he was a big African-American, built like a freight train nurse, had a baby face.
Yes, he did.
It was time for me to go on my first walk. So you guys were both on either side of me to help lift me off the bed so that I can go on the walk, down the hallway.
I remember that.
And I had the catheter in me. And as you guys helped me stood up, I felt something. I thought I peed myself. I've never had a catheter in me before, so I didn't know what was happening. And that's when I looked down in front of both of you and realized that I started my period. And he was very professional. And he said, don't worry, I'll go get you some supplies or whatever. And I am not an emotional person, as you know.
That's right.
And I burst into tears.
That's right. Oh,
because I was embarrassed.
So going back on the tip, ladies, if you know your cycle and you might have your period in or around the time that you have surgery, pack some feminine products just in case. But no, anyway, so that happened. And I do remember having to help you change your, I was going to say diaper, your pad.
I hate when you say that.
Sorry. Your pad while we were at the hospital and a few times more while we were at home. So, guys, if your girl's going to go through this, that's something that you might have to help her with. You have to be understanding about that. You're going to have to do some shit. You're going to have to help out with
literally and figuratively.
I told you, I'm not going to help with the poop. Luckily, you were able to do that on yourself. Bravo. But anything else, I got you, boo.
So funny.
Yeah. So.
You're really sweet about that. I was an absolute shit show. And in fairness, most women who are obese or about to have the surgery, a lot of them don't have normal cycles. A lot of us had PCOS or like
Oh wow.
hormonal issues and stuff. So that's actually really good advice that you bring, even if you don't think you're expecting it during
Just
that
bring,
time.
yeah, yeah,
Just
bring
so
weight.
pillow, feminine products, mouthwash. That's what you got so
Yeah.
far.
Yes, you don't want that stinky breath on you. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't see.
Um, yeah, absolutely.
And so Janie brought, I literally just saw somebody comment on this in one of the social media groups this morning, that even women who are menopausal have been known to have 1 or 2 periods post surgery. It's so weird that like after the surgery like affects you that differently.
Yeah. And
Um,
guys, again, guys, just step up, do what you have to do for your girlfriend or your wife, whatever. She'll be
it's
going through it.
temporary too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only a few days plus something you can hold over their heads for a while, extra cigars here and there, money for action figures, you never know. But definitely hang that over their heads. But and it brings, honestly, when I did that for you, it kind of gave me a sense of like, okay, I'm needed. Not in the sense that, not in the way that, hey, she needs me, she can't live without me. It's it's one of those things where, hey, it's good to be there, I guess, and
Yeah.
just felt really good to do something like that, and
It felt because a lot of times people don't know how to help in the beginning
yeah, oh, of course.
because
And
because you've never been
I
through
didn't
it.
know what I was doing, and you said, okay, here's what you do. You're gonna open this, you're gonna put this in the underwear, yada yada yada. And I already knew too. You have your underwear ready and all that stuff too, just in case, So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, no, it just and it, man, you went through a lot.
There's a long process.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we've done this, it's 8 years post-op.
Yeah.
If we had to go back and do it all over again, is there anything that you would have done differently?
Bring a pillow. I would have done everything the exact same way, Sherry. I would not have not been there. Obviously, knowing what I know now, I would know what to bring. But other
Right.
than that, the only thing I would have done differently is bring a pillow.
The pillow,
Bring a pillow.
that would have been such a
Honestly,
game
just
changer.
bring the damn pillow. And no, honestly, that's it. Oh, if you're gonna be in the hospital for a few days again, bring some baby wipes. Give yourself a little prison shower or something.
Yeah.
But no, and I was happy to have been there for you. Honestly, I know that this is something that you chose to go through. We talked about it,
Mm.
and I said, if this is the last, this is it. This is the last resort. Then let's go with it.
Yeah.
And um, yeah, just advice for the guys or anybody else. Just be a little sensitive to the person having the surgery. Yes, they're the ones that decided to go through it, but um, it's still a big step. It's not it's a small surgery, but it's major. Also, you have to understand they just got, what was it, 3/4 of her stomach,
Mhm.
whatever it was, taken out of a tiny little incision. They're healing. Just have some patience. Have patience. Bear with them. It's not an inconvenience. You just be there. Just be there for the person. If you're gonna be frustrated, people will be frustrated. The caregivers might have, like, I had a point of frustration. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, God damn, but I never said it out loud.
But
And you're allowed
what
to.
was it that and be honest, what was it that would frustrate you?
I don't remember. That's the worst part. Because you would complain about. I forgot what you would complain about. It was a valid complaint though, because it's something that was mundane to me because I can do anything. You know what I mean? But I have to remind. I had to keep reminding myself that you were restricted. So yeah, you were going to complain. You can't do things that you
Yeah.
could do the week before or the day before you had surgery. And in my mind, I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, come on. But I internalized it, and again, I had a whole conversation with myself. Look, bro, she just had a freaking major surgery, dude. You gotta be understanding about this. And so, I just, and I never acted any different. I don't think I ever acted aggressively. I kind of just
No.
went with the motion, and just I had to understand that, hey, you're going through some shit right now. I gotta be the best me I can for you.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's guys, girls, just be there, man. It's only for a little bit, little while, and that person's gonna live a little longer. So,
Mm.
you know,
And I'm going to ask you because obviously know me better
Carla,
than.
yes, it did help us bond. Sorry.
Oh, yes it did. Um One of the things, I mean, you know me better than anyone. and I said this just a few minutes ago. I'm not a very emotional person.
Mm-mm.
I'm not much of a crier. I mean, that's just how I've been for
She's
a
not a
really long.
cold person either, but that's not
I
her.
know I
Yeah.
come off like a cold-hearted bee. I've often told that I have RBF on a daily basis. It's not really who I am. I'm just very shy. I don't know, it's just my face. But with that being said, I remember writing about it in the book that there was like 3 different times where I had a complete mental, like an emotional breakdown.
Yes.
And
That was hard.
I think the first one was just like, it was like day 3 or 4. It was very, very early on.
Yeah.
I remember being by myself on the recliner watching TV. We didn't have a DVR then, and we didn't have Netflix or any of the streaming services, so it was
We
just
had a
regular
tube TV with a
commercials.
built-in DVD player.
Yeah, because our TV had just broken, so we had like this little tiny like tube
Yep.
TV. And I joked in the book, it was the same Little Caesars commercial I watched 8 or 9 times in the same day, in like half a day.
Hmm.
And I finally just like broke down and I was like, what have I done to myself?
That's exactly, yeah, and yeah, it was hard to see because you just it was, and at you were trying to move also at the same time, and then maybe the culmination, the just combination of everything,
Yeah.
just kind of got to you, and you cried and just like, what did I do to myself? What did I get myself into? And and I remember I just all I could do was just there, like I didn't know what to say. I was just like, yes, and again, it's just I had to understand too. It's gonna happen, bro. Um, but yeah, yeah, you did have a little breakdown.
Okay, besides the, they're there now. It's going to be okay. Like in hindsight, is there anything that you probably could have tried to say back then that might have helped?
Nope, you know me. I'm very blunt, and I probably would have said something like, "Hey, you decided to do this." I mean, that wouldn't have helped.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
something.
the best thing I could do is let you cry it out and just not pat you in the back, but just kind of rub your back and let you know I'm there.
Yeah,
You know, um, I do remember we went for a drive though, because
we did.
you were cooped in for quite a while, and the walls were closing in, and I was like, you know what, let's go. Let's take a walk to the car, and we just went for a drive. We went to Canyon Country at the time,
Hmm.
Sierra Highway. Talked about that, and
Yeah.
we drove until the streets became mountains, really,
Hmm.
and had the windows down. And I remember it was around, I'd have been around 5 or 6 or something like that, and the sun was just going down. Man, it was beautiful skies, and it wasn't too cold or anything like that. Because we had the windows down, and I said, "Hey, put your arm out the window," and it's just
Yeah.
you can get that freedom, that feeling like everything's gonna be okay.
In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I think that might have been the same day. I think that was your way of trying to find a solution, was like, let's get you out of the
Probably,
house and
yeah.
just sitting. And I was probably even fighting and going, no, I'm so miserable. And you're like, let's just go for a drive. And I think and I vaguely remember having the windows down, like you said, and I felt
Yes.
like the fresh air just like
Yep.
coming in the car.
And
And
it hits different, man. It's different than opening up a window in your room.
yeah,
Um, Driving and feeling that air versus opening the window in your room. It's because at that point you're outside. Everything is moving. You're going through everything as opposed to everything
yeah.
moving past you. It's a different feeling, man. And just the calm that I saw in you at that point was just
Hmm.
like you needed it.
Yeah.
You needed
And
to see the world.
something so simple as just going for a drive like made such a huge difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, and
And,
it's hard, like you guys, and it's hard because number one, we don't understand why we're feeling this way. I mean, because there's so many different emotions
mhm.
going on. So even like initially, I was going to suggest that if this happens to you, then maybe your partner can just ask, how can I help you, or what do you need? But I think sometimes when you're in that moment, you don't know what the answer is.
At all. You
You're
don't.
just kind of like this shit show trying to navigate, like, did I make the biggest decision of my life? Is this pain ever going to go away? Am I ever going to have more than a simple sip of, water? What happens in the summertime and I can't chug water? I'm going to be sipping 1 ounces for the rest. Like, there's so many thoughts that just like go through your mind that in hindsight, I don't think you really could have said anything
I
specific
couldn't have.
that would have just made it instantly better.
Exactly. I couldn't say what you wanted to hear. I couldn't say what I wanted to say. All I could do is literally be
Hmm.
there. Just be there for you, let you know that I'm okay. And if you need anything, you let me know. I got you.
Hmm.
You know. Um, Yeah. Also, just really quickly, a big shout out to your mother too, because at one point, when I had to get back to work, I was dropping you off at your mother's,
Mm-hmm.
um, so she can watch you for a day or whatever. I can't remember the arrangement, but yeah, your mother was there for some of that too. So shout out to Mama Teresa, you know, um, for that. So I guess it also helped having another party. Good. I had to go to work, and I didn't
Yeah.
have anybody to leave with you. Now and I didn't want you walking around and fearing that your stitches are gonna pop or the glue's gonna open or something like that.
That
So
was a
glad,
nervous
glad
wreck,
she was there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which is just crazy. Um, I can see, I told you, like, it goes by so quickly. Like, we're almost done. I'm almost done with you.
Okay.
Um, one of the questions, you and I were talking about this earlier.
Take your time.
Oh, I know, because I'm trying to think of like how I wanted to phrase it, because I think we kind of touched on
Fire
it.
away.
We were kind of touching on it briefly. Um, did it ever affect you when I started getting more attention from people? Not necessarily like people sliding into the DMs, just like people when you're out and about and people are making more comments, and it's like, or every time we went to an event, I'm just gonna keep talking. You can keep shaking your head now. But like we would go to an event and people were always in this, especially in the beginning. Oh my God, Sherry, you look so amazing! And like, so I'm getting like all of this attention. I know that you don't really like attention,
Yeah.
but did it ever
Just
bother you? Did it ever bother you that like somebody else was getting all of this attention and
no,
maybe not noticing you as much?
no, 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 not at all. I wanted you out there, because you have such a big personality too, Sherry. It's a shame that to keep it locked in,
Yeah.
and you've made a lot of friends because that's one thing the surgery allowed you to have is more confidence too. Give you a confidence boost, and that allowed you to get out there a little bit more. I wanted you to know what it was like to have people hit on you. Not in a weird like perverse way, but it's like,
Like a rite of passage
you
kind
know
of
what I'm saying?
experience or
Like,
something.
yeah, get out there. Make new friends, talk to people. You don't have to stay in your room, locked in, or you go out and live.
Yeah.
I wanted that because and you, and I always said you were made for the stage, man. You were made to be out acting somewhere or something directed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, look at you in the camera. So, no, it didn't make me jealous at all. I was very, very happy for you. Actually, I still am.
Did it
Um,
at any point did it motivate you to want to make better decisions for yourself?
yes, but I didn't, and I'll tell you why. Because I know me, I'm a lazy son of a bitch. I can be. So I really have to push myself to not be. And for me, it was also it was just very easy just to be lazy. So I didn't do what I needed to do for myself. And, what motivated me to lose weight wasn't your surgery. It was actually a little health scare that I had, or I thought that I had. A little
Mm-hmm.
once upon a time. I was at work and I felt a little abnormal rhythm in my heart. I'm thinking, well, this is it.
Hmm.
Let's go to the hospital real quick. And we drove to the hospital, and they're like, no, you're fine. So I was probably gas or something. Fuck, I don't know. But that kind of started this chain reaction, and I
Mm-hmm.
kind of started putting things into perspective. At that point, we were doing Arthur Murray too. We were dancing. So I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, Christ, look at you, bro. You don't even look like you. And my nieces and my nephew want to play. They want to run around. Uncle Erick, let's go here, let's go there. And it's just, I'm out of breath. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I can't. I'm making excuses as to why I can't go out and run or do what they want to do. It just so it's something to live for. And that's kind of what's kicked off these events where I started. Fuck it, let's go to the gym. I went for a walk. People ask me, how did you do it? I went for a walk. And that was that. I could have gotten the surgery too if I wanted to, but the truth is, I knew I could lose weight. You were a different story. I knew I could lose weight without the surgery. I made myself this way.
Right.
I made myself big. I don't need to. I know I can lose weight. I'm gonna have to struggle and kick my own ass, and I'm gonna have to go through hell. But it worked. Not everybody's the same way.
Which you and I didn't talk about this before, so I'm going to blindside you with
Let's
it.
go.
So you had an incredible weight loss transformation yourself. Wasn't surgery related, but you went from almost 400 pounds down
Yeah.
to like around 240, and you started lifting weights. And So in our bariatric community, we call it an NSV, a non-scale victory. And I would get so excited. The first time I crossed my legs, I think I called you and I was like screaming into the phone. Um, and I have like a handful of like some of my all-time favorite NSVs, but even though you didn't have the surgery, you have non-scale victories. Is there any that really stand out for you personally?
Seeing my penis without a mirror. No, I'm kidding.
That apparently that's common.
No, uh, so, no. I think was being able to um, bend down and tie my shoe, and like not be out of breath when I came back up. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm talking about. You've seen me before. I had to like go at an angle and this and that because my belly was so big. You know, I had to spread my legs, not because I'm man spreading, but because I'm belly spreading. Now I gotta fit this sucker somewhere.
Right.
You know? And you know, I'm down there and just huffing and puffing. So for me, it was tying my shoes, um, fitting into size 42 pants, size 40, 42. Uh, Seeing that belt notch go all the way to the very end.
Mm-hmm.
You know, little victories here and there.
You know what one of my favorite NSVs of all time is?
Tying your shoe, crossing
No,
your legs.
you might not guess it.
Oh shit! Wait. Okay, now I'm gonna guess it.
Okay.
Dance, jump. No, because
No.
okay, go. Got
It
me.
involves you. We were in Vegas
Whoa.
and calm down, Turbo.
Oh.
We were in Vegas and there is a photograph of you picking me up and carrying me.
Wow. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, that's right. I carried you. Jason took that picture. Jason. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that was one because that was I remember and
That was my birthday.
it was your birthday
We were out there for my
weekend.
birthday. Yeah, it's an epic time. That's
And
right. Yeah.
somebody was telling a story about carrying whatever and I was like, one of my like dream I've never been picked up by a guy before. Like I've never been
Dude, I
carried by a
squatted
guy
you.
before. And you squatted me.
Yeah.
And that was probably one of my favorite NSV because a few years before that, before I had surgery, if you remember, I was at a pavilions one time and
Yeah.
I slipped and fell on water
That's right.
and I was in the middle of the aisle by myself. Side story though, I was holding my Starbucks drink, my caramel brulee frappuccino or whatever it was at the time, and I slipped on water. My drink flipped out of my hand, flipped around, and landed perfectly on the aisle, like on one of the shelves or whatever, all fully intact. Meanwhile, I am like,
You didn't.
I did not land perfectly. And I
Right.
was stuck on the ground, and there was a crowd of people that were surrounding me because they wanted to help me up. But I was so embarrassed. I was like, not one of these people are going to be able to pick me up or carry me up or whatever. And it was such like this huge, humiliating
Yeah.
experience. And I wouldn't let them. I said, no, no. And then like you're trying to roll on your stomach and trying to do like the knee thing, like bend yourself up or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, that broke me. So the idea of like you watch on the movies of the guy carrying the woman or like carries her through the threshold or like brings her out, like that's never gonna happen. And so when it happened that day in Vegas, it was probably one of my favorite NSVs.
Yeah. No, I do remember that. Yeah. Can't wait till you carry me. So start building.
Oh, it's
up
gonna
my-
happen. I'm gonna give you a piggyback ride.
Let's go. I'm ready for it.
Not yet. My back
Um,
is not better yet, but give
yeah.
me some time. Give me some time to fix it. Which I can't believe we're almost out of time. Is there any like final thoughts that like from your perspective, like things that you think might help, other partners out there who are wondering how to help their, and in different phases, not just necessarily in the beginning, but later on down the road or anything that sticks out to you?
I
I like
mean,
to
this is
put
what
you
you're
on the
talking
spot.
about. I know. I mean, look, when it comes to the beginning of the surgery and during um, the healing process, uh, be prepared to make some sacrifices. It's what we're gonna call them, but it's just a duty, honestly. So just be prepared to be there. Get uncomfortable. You won't be able to eat around this person that just had the surgery. So if you want to go eat in the kitchen like I did, eat in the kitchen like I did. Doesn't mean you have to restrict your own food. Just don't be an asshole and berate the person because they can't eat it or make fun of them because they can't eat it. Have some respect.
Mhm.
It'll go a long way. Trust, especially um, with their psyche or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But, And as far as attention goes, to the people having the surgery, you're going to get a lot of attention, like I said. You're going to get people making comments that you didn't get before. You're not going to know how to take them. Just roll with the punches. Just go with the flow. Eye on the prize. If you're with somebody, remember that somebody stood by you while you were healing. Give them that respect at least. And if you weren't a bitch before, don't be a bitch now. You have no reason to. If you get confidence, don't misconstrue that. Don't misconstrue that confidence with cockiness.
Yeah.
Don't misconstrue it with well, just don't. Just do something with that confidence. Inspire others, if you will. Surgery is not cheating. Now, I'll say this: some of you out there are going to use a surgery to cheat. You are. No way. No, and I'm going to say that bluntly. Okay, because you're too goddamn lazy to go out there and work out. Okay, and to the people that really have no other option, let me tell you this straight up: it's not cheating. You're gonna go through a lot, and those that had it, you went through a lot, And it was the last resort, and I'm proud of you. You did what you had to do. I hope you're doing something with it now. I hope you see the world a little better. I hope you're able to do things that you couldn't do before, and I hope you're doing something positive with it. Again, inspiring others. Talking to people about just like Sherry's doing. She's putting herself out there. She's talking to people about her experiences. Hold barred. The whole period story and everything. So yeah, that's just that's my 2 cents on that, I guess. And Sherry, I just got to say, I'm very proud of you. You were the best case scenario. And now, obviously, I wasn't around any bariatric surgery or anything like that, but from what I've seen, read, and all that, you were probably the best case scenario. You stuck through everything. You stuck through the program. You were very diligent. You took your steps in. You cooked. You forced yourself to do things that many people wouldn't want to because the pain is bad or whatever. You just went. You sucked it up. I have to do this, and you did it. You stayed the course, and now look at you. You wrote a book. You started this, and you brought people together. I'm just very, very, very proud of you, and I'm sure other people are too, and I'm sure they're grateful for you. And follow this person on TikTok. Follow her on TikTok. She's got a lot of things coming up. I'm gonna be that guy, but I seriously, Sherry, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
I hope you inspire, and I hope you keep inspiring, and I hope you realize how much of an inspiration you are to everybody out there who's got questions, who's gonna go through this, and who's already gone through this.
Stop. You're going to make me have feelings.
Oh my God.
I'm going to have an emotional response. I have to make a joke to make it not awkward.
No. Let's just go buy me another helmet.
Oh, is that what the compliments were for? So that you can get a toy later?
That's what I'm talking about, fellas. No, I'm kidding. No, I meant it. I meant every word. I want a helmet.
I'll think on it. So first and foremost, well, to you especially, thank you so much for coming today. I really appreciate it. And I will send you your Venmo payment for all the nice things you said to me today, as discussed ahead of time. And to those who have had the surgery, I know that we have a lot of expectations or a lot of hopes that our partner is going to act a certain way and be sensitive to our needs and be attentive and try to understand where we're coming from. Learn to communicate exactly what you want from your partner, but at the same time, as the patient, be sensitive to your partner, because this doesn't just affect you. This is going to affect them too, whether it's in the terms of insecurities and jealousies and looking at themselves in a different light, the changes in food and activity and stuff like that. Is the respect that you want from your partner to understand this new journey you've gone on, reciprocate it back and be there for your partner too. And if you don't know how to talk to each other, ask questions, ask each other, what do you need from me to get to the other side of this and to move forward in the right direction together. And so for everybody who's been watching, thank you so much. It's been such a joy for the last, I think it's been 4 months now, which is just crazy that we've been doing this show. Yeah. If you want a copy of my book, it's called Unzipped. You can get it on Amazon, or you can go on my website, sherryarcuria.com. And if you have not subscribed already, you can subscribe to YouTube and Facebook at Unzipped with Sherry. You can find these interviews later on Spotify and Apple Music, also at Unzipped with Sherry. I try to make it easy across the board for all of you. If there's any questions that you want Erick to answer at a later time, send them my way. You can
I'm here for it. Let me
loves
know.
it.
I got you, fam. I'll be honest and I'll be blunt. So you're gonna get that from me.
Be careful what you wish for because he's very blunt, 100%.
Yeah.
But you can send us an email at info@sherryarcuria.com. Hopefully Eric will be interested in coming back again. I would love
100%.
to do a show with maybe a couple partners, like a couple Erics on the
Let's
panel
go. I
so
am
that you
ready for
guys,
it. My gosh. Let's
because
get a tribe.
I had the boys episode where we had a couple people who had bariatric surgery, but I think it'd be kind of fun to have a couple, like, a day in the life of the partners, and you guys can bond a little bit and share tips and tricks. So if you're interested in that, I'll see if I can put something together.
No, yeah, let's do this. I'm ready for it.
All right. Well, thank you, my love. And I will see you in 5 minutes because we live together and that's what we do.
I'll see you downstairs.
But thank you guys for watching.